Okay, this one... Okay, the blue background is clearly Kingdom Hearts 1. It's got Deep Jungle. Might as well start with Deep Jungle. I thought having a Tarzan world was cool. I'm sad it didn't come back. I can't really say much more about it. It was a short world with one of the wackiest boss fights in the series, just floating Clayton, who turned out to be riding a chameleon for some reason. And there was that one time when Clayton was totally going to shoot a gorilla, and then Sora went, "Stop!" And Clayton just stopped, but had nothing to say about it. I don't know why that entertained me so much, but I did like it. I feel like the way the characters are integrated into this world was pretty decent. Like, there was, you know, Clayton succumbing to darkness. Tarzan was able to figure it out. Jane and the monkeys, the gorillas, made friends earlier on because of the shenanigans going on and Clayton targeting both of them. I think they had pretty good Disney character integration in this one. It's just sad that it never came back. So, I'm gonna give that one a B. It was a good level. It was a little weirdly arranged and kind of confusing on the downside of it. So, it does get a B from me because navigating that was just not okay. Once you know, it's actually a very small world. But, you know, before that point, it's like, God, why? Where am I? Where am I going? Alright, blue background still is Kingdom Hearts 1. Destiny Islands. I mean, most of the game, like, Destiny Islands is pretty unimportant. It's kind of a hodgepodge of random junk on an island, which I guess was the point. But as far as just Kingdom Hearts 1 Destiny Islands in a bubble, I guess it was a... You know what? This is F. Bad tutorial. Slow start. I didn't even record it. But I just fought Riku a bunch of times because I was trying to get used to the combat, and that wasn't very fun either. I mean, and story-wise, it's so unimportant, except that characters keep turning out to be from the Destiny Islands, or have been to the Destiny Islands before, and it's like, alright, and... So, Destiny Islands gets an F. Also, Waka lives there. You know what? We're adding a new row. Oh. We're adding a new row for Waka lives here. With a frowny face that goes below D tier. And I somehow deleted F tier in this process. Oh, I know what I did. Okay. Add row below. Back out of this. Go to this one. Ew. A new timeline where Aqua called Waka a freak. Just show the clip of him throwing the ball over the horizon to hit the villain of Final Fantasy X, and then cut to Aqua. You freak! Okay, fix that. Waka lives here as a new tier. We're not gonna put all of the Destiny Islands from all of the games in it because, I mean, then that's just this row would be just Destiny Islands from all the games. I was gonna give this one an F tier anyway, so I don't feel bad putting it here. Alright, blue. Agrabah. Let's just do them in order from now on. We did the first one that I talked about, and the first one in the game, so. 100 Acre Wood. Minigames. C tier. Oh well. It was not important. Well, I take it back. B tier. I like that he had an. I liked the existential crisis. It was very out of place for the 100 Acre Wood to have an existential crisis plot line, and I kind of liked that. Agrabah. Okay, so Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie. And I feel like they did alright. I don't feel like they integrated the Disney characters all that well in this one because it just kind of bum rushes the plot of the movie. And that's it. And Jafar has darkness in his heart, go figure. But it's too much darkness, and he loses himself to it, and then he becomes a genie, and then... Yeah. They didn't do my favorite movie any justice here. And he's looking for the keyhole. Not because trying to become Sultan. Whatever. I didn't even remember that. It's the same plot, except for that. It's so insignificant. Dan Castellaneta Genie, though. I like that. Dan Castellaneta Genie has grown on me over the years. Mostly since I watched Simpsons last year and the year before for the first time. Atlantica. No. Bad controls, bad boss fights, bad layout, confusing layout, Triton's an idiot. Just no. I did not like this world. Atlantica and Kingdom Hearts 1 is terrible. That's... Also, I hated it so much that I forgot to close the keyhole after I was done. As soon as I beat the boss, I was like, out, done. I literally did not get the Keyblade from this world until after I had beaten the first Hollow Bastion. If I remember right. I just did not want to be here. Hence why it got reduced to Minigame Island. I think. Halloween Town. Probably my first S tier. This was my favorite world for a long time in this series. Because, like, both in 1 and 2, because great character integration. The plot is literally solved by listening to Sally in Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't remember how it resolves in Kingdom Hearts 1. I liked the giant Oogie Boogie house boss fight. That was a weird change, but I liked it. I don't understand what Oogie Boogie's thing with dice is in the boss fights. Like, I'm pretty sure he has dice at some point during his villain song, but I didn't think that was, like, his thing. But hey, whatever. No, I have nothing bad enough to say about this to bump it down from S tier. I liked it. It was a good world. Good. Jack Skellington's a fun ally to have on your team. They all ignore... He's a gambling boogeyman. They all ignore Sally, and it's brilliant the way that Sally could have just solved the plot exactly like she always could. That's true to the movie, but not just the movie plot again, which, great. Jack gets an obsession with something, and he runs with that obsession even though it's definitely hurting Halloween Town to do so. It all fits. It all fits. But it's not just the plot of the movie, so I like it. Popping up. Alright. End of the World. I mean, it's purple. Okay, the title... The title for my YouTube video, my YouTube upload of me playing The End of the World, is literally titled, Purple Skyland Ruins My Life. It's such a difficulty spike, and I do not like the enemies in this world. Cool boss fight at the end. Not at the end, obviously that's the end of the game. Cool boss fight when the devil shows up. Literally Satan. I liked the boss fight, but the world was not fun. It was just mashed together encounters that weren't cool at all. New enemies that absolutely demolish you if you don't know exactly what to do about them. I'm pretty sure I still didn't know what I was doing by the time I got to the end of this, because the enemy design is literally... This guy is like a class of magical something, and it has wings, and also you're dead now. By the time you process this image in your head, you're dead. And it's like, okay. Get me out of here, I'm done. Hollow Bastion. I liked the part where we had a wooden sword and we sucked. I got lost for a while, and it got grating because I got lost for a while. If I hadn't gotten lost, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. So I'm not gonna dock it points for that. I thought it was really fun, the way they were just like, no, Riku's better than you, you suck now. And Beast had to like do all the work. I thought that was... It was one of the more impactful moments, gameplay-wise, as far as the story is concerned. The story and the gameplay are pretty separated in Kingdom Hearts. This moment was really impactful through gameplay, and I think they did that really, really brilliantly. The way that you're just like, Riku's just like, I'm better than you. And Sora's like, wait, you're better than me? Also, your friends follow me now because they follow the Keyblade. And it's just like, this is a major character development moment for Sora, and we're living it. We're not just watching a cutscene that explains it. I thought that was great. I give Hollow Bastion an A. Or should I say Radiant Garden, as it should have been known all along, except that it wasn't, except that everyone remembered it once. Monstro. Monstro. Oh, Monstro. I have mixed feelings on Monstro. I don't know why the inside of Monstro is so psychedelic. I don't like the boss fight. But I like Riku's, like, story development during this time, where he's, like, just being a jerk to Pinocchio. And Sora stands up and he's like, no, it doesn't matter if he's literally a puppet. He had a heart, and he doesn't now because of your shenanigans, and I'm not okay with that, Riku. Like, this is integral to Riku's character development later, but it's a good establishing moment for Sora's character right at that moment. I just don't know why it's so weird inside of Monstro. I guess they decided body horror wasn't the way to go with this world. Fair enough. Neverland. We need a new tier. Adro below. Peter Pan lives here. Angry face. In all honesty, I didn't dislike Neverland. They did an excellent job characterizing Peter Pan. Whoops. It feels like nobody who makes Peter Pan media acknowledges how horrible he is. They just kind of walk up Peter Pan team up. They would. They actually would team up, and it would be terrible. I feel like it's not like Peter Pan's never been properly characterized as the actual terrible person he is. It just feels like nobody acknowledges it. Kingdom Hearts doesn't really either, but they really play up that he is just a jerk. And I like that. Flying controls are better than swimming controls, so it's automatically above Atlantica. Really took the wind out of the sails of the boss fight, though. It's kind of lame, if I'm being perfectly honest, to just be able to fly around and wait. But he did send ships after you, and those were pretty dangerous. Where do we want Neverland? I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on it. I think they could have... Well, no, Sora points out that Peter Pan's being a jerk a lot. I think we give it a B. You know, it's just... It's a fun world. You get a good summon. Peter Pan's actually characterized properly as a monster. The voice acting's all fun. Can't go wrong putting Neverland in a game. Especially when Peter Pan is made out to be the jerk that he is. Alright, the Olympus Coliseum. I didn't do all of the Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1, so I'm gonna have a hard time ranking this one properly. Story-wise, it was fun. Hercules makes his return in every game with Sora as the main character, and it's always a good time, and it's established really well here. I'm legitimately surprised that they let Hercules be such a weak boss fight. I think if I was a Disney executive and I had fought Hercules in this game, I'd be breathing down someone's neck to make Hercules stronger and more dangerous to fight as Sora. You literally throw barrels at him and smack him a few times in proud mode, and it's like, whatever, he's dead now, you won. And then there's a cutscene afterwards where he's like, I didn't even hold back, wow. And it's like, I'm not buying this. Other than that, though, I didn't really like the Coliseum parts, where you're just fighting the waves of enemies. I think a C is fine. It's important to the story. Hercules, it's always good to see Hercules again, and they established that here. But gameplay-wise, it was just eh. I was legitimately surprised when Leon and Yuffie showed up in the fights, though. That was fun. Also, Cloud's here. Because apparently Cloud is Knuckles in this game. Traverse Town. I really missed Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts 3. Boss fights here were good. Traverse Town was a better tutorial than Destiny Islands. And it had secrets, and it had places to go back for people for collectibles. It had your shops. It was a pretty standard hub world, all things considered, and all the Final Fantasy characters hung out here except for Cloud, for some reason. So I think we give Traverse Town a little above average. It's a really good... Not really good, it's a good hub world to visit. And it's interesting. This design's pretty neat. It's just weird... It's just this weird nighttime city for some reason, and it's very mysterious. And it's so important to the plot. I'm surprised it just up and disappeared in the third game. I don't know where it went. And I did miss it when it was gone, so I'll give it a little above average. Alright, last Kingdom Hearts 1 world, Wonderland. I have nothing to say about Wonderland. I don't remember it from Kingdom Hearts 1 all that well. Things flip upside down, you get big, you get small. Off with their heads and all that. Forgettable, gameplay and story-wise. Not bad, though. It gets a C. It's not bad. There we have all the Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds. Now I gotta figure out how this works. I think red is Dream Drop Distance. I'm gonna say the second set of red is Riku's version of Dream Drop Distance, because there's no way to tell those two apart. So I'm just gonna say the second set of red is Riku's side. Let's see, we gotta find Kingdom Hearts 2. I think it's yellow. Disney Castle, Timeless River, yep. Kingdom Hearts 2 is yellow. We'll do that next. Okay. So, I already said the words Timeless River. Oh. Great character design for Sora. Made him really fit in with those old designs. They changed the HUD in a really brilliant way. Even using forms in Timeless River actually changes the hue of your HUD a little from black and white. Like, it's as if to imply Sora's going even further beyond by using these form changes, and I think that's awesome. I think they struck a good balance for sound design. If they had gone all the way old-timey crunchy with the sound design, it would have been kind of annoying. But they gave it that old-timey staticiness without making it impossible to follow. I don't know how to feel about the fact that they couldn't figure out which Pete was which, as if it wasn't completely obvious. On the one hand, it's hilarious. On the other hand, it's really stupid. So... I thought it was funny, though. I liked it. I liked the part when you hit Pete with enough items while he's sailing the steamboat away. The steamboat of legend away. And he's basically, like, his jaw's unhinged and he's just laying over the crate trying to steal literally the source of light for Disney Castle. Because he didn't like Disney Castle having light and he's a simp for Maleficent, who also didn't like having light in the castle. Because she wanted the castle. Though it begs the question, would the castle have even gotten built if the cornerstone of light wasn't there? Or would they have not bothered? Anyways, time travel shenanigans. Cool designs, cool sound. I loved doing my video filter alongside it. That was really fun. Yeah, one of my favorites for sure. Okay. Traverse, oh wait, no, that's red. 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts 2. Where's 100 Acre Woods from Kingdom Hearts 1? It's a B. It was just more minigames. It was a nice break, and it was never required, I don't think, so I can't say that it was, like, egregious or in my face or anything. No complaints. Fun existential crisis world once again. I love the stories in 100 Acre Wood in all three games. They're just losing their minds, and they're, like, kind of accepting it as is. Especially Pooh, who's just like, well, I forgot who you are, I forgot who all my friends are, and I guess that means I'll be gone soon. Gotta figure out how that works, though. Fun times. Kingdom Hearts 2 Agrabah. The Magic Carpet section was really fun. I'd say it's a strict upgrade over the Kingdom Hearts 1 Agrabah. And honestly... like, Aladdin 2 is not a good movie. I liked the... I think I liked I definitely liked Agrabah in Kingdom Hearts 2 more than Agrabah in Aladdin 2. Dan Castle and Edo Genie makes his return, that's all fun. What would have made this world better? Playable Jafar villain song. Make the boss fight with Jafar more musical and hilarious. I think I'd put this I think I'd put this one notch above Kingdom Hearts 1 Agrabah. Still not great. The characters, again, barely did anything. They were there, and Jafar was the boss fight, but whatever. I can't even remember which thing was the first visit and which thing was the second visit. They blur together, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts 2 gave us one musical villain boss fight. That's true, and here's Atlantica. F. The rhythm game wasn't even on rhythm. The button presses are not in time with the song. You just have to look at the visual cue, that's it. Bad minigame is bad. And also, they were really long, and the original songs were only okay. Swing this way, we'll dance and we'll play. Something. Very awkward pacing for this song to go to just this moment. Please no. I took the copyright hit. I just uploaded the first episode of where I played Atlantica in Kingdom Hearts 2. I straight up, I just took the copyright hit and replaced the music with something else that was gonna get hit with a copyright strike. Just because I felt like it. It was funnier that way, and I didn't care for the original song, so whatever. And I also cut out an entire, like, 3 minutes of footage and was just like, and then a long minigame happened. Didn't like it. Triton's still a complete moron. Wait, was it Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2 where he went to pout in his bedroom and just left the Trident sitting around? They were both bad plots, whatever. It doesn't matter. Destiny Islands in Kingdom Hearts... Oh, Beast Castle. That was Chain of Memories, okay. Right, because for some reason Chain of Memories Atlantica had a different story than the first one. Even Sora remembered that Triton was an idiot. Alright, Beast Castle. Fun world, honestly. My first visit was a little rough because I just started dying, because I was still new to critical mode, and I was just dying from everything, and I was supposed to go... Leveling-wise, I was supposed to go to, Land of Dragons first. I didn't know that. But I did like the world when I got back. Really interesting Eldritch boss fight that started possessing the walls and the lanterns, and very thematic for Beast Castle, where he became the chandelier and he became the columns. Just like the servants do, they become the things. The secret passage was so useless and pointless. There was just a secret tunnel. Secret tunnel through the castle. It literally leads to Beast's room, and it's longer than taking the hallway. But yeah, I give this an A rank. I liked it here. I liked my time here. I liked that Belle was useful and elbowed one of the organization members. I think we're talking about the one organization member whose name I can't remember. But she elbowed him, and she totally mitigated the hostage situation. Like, standoffs with hostages are so annoying in media, and Belle was just like, screw you, dude. The rose is mine. You don't own me. So Belle's a Keyblade wielder, win? Maybe? Let's see. Destiny Islands in Kingdom Hearts 2? Did we go to Destiny Islands in Kingdom Hearts 2? Is it cutscene only? Yeah. Okay, so I don't feel bad about putting it in the Waka Lives Here tier because nothing happened there. We did learn that Axel is really good at kidnapping Kairi-sized girls. He's really good at it, and he does it throughout the whole series. We learned something about Axel here. And that is all. Disney Castle. Well, it leads to Timeless River. So that's nice. It had the Minnie Mouse escort mission, which wasn't very good. There's an absolute horde of enemies that were not fun to fight without your allies and without form changes. And Minnie Mouse has a good AoE that helps you deal with them, but I mean, it's an escort mission. Also, the checkpoints were sporadic. Well, not sporadic. They're exactly like all the checkpoints in Kingdom Hearts 2. You go through a loading zone, you've hit a checkpoint. But there's this whole first courtyard area where you go in a circle and don't hit any loading zones while you're exploring it. So unless you deliberately go out and back in, you don't get a checkpoint anywhere. And you just lose all your progress if you die at the very end of it, like I did. It was not great of a world. I liked the paintings in Mickey's office, but even those were a minor thing. They were so just there. It's like, oh, it's Mickey Mouse with a beard, and it's Pioneer Mickey Mouse, and it's like, who cares? You could have gone way more interesting with these paintings. It's just, it's not a very good world. Not a lot happens there. The music's fun. Alright, Halloween Town, Kingdom Hearts 2. Even better than the first one, because they actually listened to Sally, and it did in fact solve the plot. Like, That Halloween Town world visits are so great because they don't follow the story of the movie. I like that they had made, like, Jack and Santa are kind of friends now. And, like, everyone's suspicious that Jack is up to his antics again to try and steal Christmas. And it turns out not to be him. There's an annoying minigame with the shooting the presents. And then you have to, like, capture Lock, Shock, and Barrel, like Pokemon in packages, and it's like, who cares? This isn't fun. They're one of the like immediately most dangerous boss fights because they will just outright kill you while you're trying to play this stupid minigame. Other than that, though, I loved the whole world. The fact that it was 2 worlds wrapped into one, as in, you know, the movie, it's multiple worlds. So you literally travel from world to world within this world that you've traveled to. And you get multiple costume changes, and it's all cool. And Jack's a great partner to have around. He has a really good limit break that I didn't use at all. And it's really fun to use. Like, I think I used it once, and it was fun, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't use it again. I didn't use limits very much at all in the early hours of that game, because I didn't know what I was doing. But, cool limit, cool ally, cool costumes. The costumes change in really cool ways when you use your form changes. There's a lot of attention to detail. I don't know how the Halloween Towns turned out so much better than almost all of the other worlds in the series. Like, I don't know what happened. They're amazing. Compared to everything else in their respective game, how the worlds work exactly anyways, it's just great. What else is there to say? See, our Hollow Bastion and Radiant Garden, same. Okay, there's 2 entries here. Hollow Bastion and Radiant Garden. I mean, the Sephiroth boss fight's here. The secret dungeon is here. The organization fights that I loved are here. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one S tier. This was a much better hub world than Traverse Town. As much as I like Traverse Town and its design and its, like, purpose in the story, the Hollow Bastion Radiant Garden is a much better hub world. There's just as much stuff to do, but they also added some secret stuff in there in the final mix version. Sephiroth's a really fun fight. I don't know if it's just me or if the Sephiroth fight wasn't that hard compared to the rest of the secret boss fights in this game, but it was a really fun fight. There's just not much to say about it. It's just a good hub world. The fact that everyone remembers that it was called Radiant Garden halfway through is really random, though. I don't understand why that's a thing that needed to happen, but who cares? I think maybe I overdid it, though. Let's put it on A tier. As much as it did have the organization beta fights, but that's only one part of the whole world, so I don't need to give it an S tier just for that, as much as I did like those fights. Besides, Disney Castle had Lingering Will, and I didn't account for that. Land of Dragons. We went to Land of Dragons, and we made the plot of the movie worse. Mulan never learned how to fight, and had to use Mushu to fight, because we carried all of Mulan's weight, and credited Mulan with it. And then they had that really weird moment where Mushu accidentally sold out Ping as Mulan. But Shang never acknowledged that there was a literal dragon there, and just took his word for it. It's like, wait, so did you know Mushu was here the whole time? Are we not going to talk about the fact that there's a dragon? And that you've never met a dragon? You're just mad that Ping is a woman? And Donald got into a fist fight. That was great. That was my favorite moment in this world. I think that bumps it up to a C. We saw Donald's true power in this fight. Like, we saw him trying to tackle people before, but they would usually teleport away. And then in Land of Dragons, we knew they were wise to leave. I think I titled that episode, Donald is Ripped. I really did like that moment. We're gonna bump it up. Mysterious Tower. Mysterious Tower. I mean... Nothing happens here. It's a good spot to grind. Exposition world. You get the clothes. It never explains why Maleficent came back. There are no big secrets here. There's one of the Mushroom 13. I'm gonna bump it down even. There's nothing happens here. You just talk to people. But Waka doesn't live here, so it's not the worst here. Fair enough, right? Okay, Colosseum. I didn't finish the Colosseum in Kingdom Hearts 2 either, but I did like it more. And I liked our character's role in this world better than in the first one, where we just kind of showed up and fought stuff for no reason. We were useful in this one. Sora, Donald, and Goofy became true heroes by the world standard. They got their constellation. It was great. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed that. The Colosseum, the actual arena fights, the Colosseum fights, were also better. I liked them more. Auron and the Hydra. I don't know why Auron was there. I still don't know anything about that character. I really liked the Hydra fight. I like that Sora literally won with the head slicing thing, because he sliced them so good, all at once, that they died. It was good stuff. Good boss fight. And there was something I didn't pick up on that made that fight way better, even. They give you Trinity Limit right before that boss fight, and Trinity Limit actually does damage based on the number of hits in the combo before you do the final hit. The final, like, shining light thing. The Hydra has, like, 7 or 8 heads by that point, so you can actually just 100% body the Hydra with Trinity Limit, and I didn't pick up on the fact that they had just given me that, and I should use it there. I also didn't know how Trinity Limit worked until I watched a speedrun. They didn't convey that very well, but it's a cool fight with Trinity Limit. I do have one complaint. Get up on the Hydra's back! Get up on the Hydra's back! Get up on the Hydra's back! Like, loop your audio slower. What is wrong with you? Was that actually Danny DeVito, now that I think about it? It wasn't, right? Feel the heat. Yeah, it had all the repeating clips that just never stop. Port Royal. I did not like fighting the undead crew. I thought the way I would change the undead crew members is I would still allow you to hit them while they're not in the moonlight, so that you can juggle them to the moonlight to then kill them. I did not like their total invulnerability. They don't flinch, nothing when they're out of the moonlight. I hated that. And that was the mechanic for the whole thing, including the boss fight, which if Jack dies during the boss fight, you lose the boss fight. Didn't like that. The ship was an afterthought. It's just a random encounter machine, and you can literally go inside and come back out to avoid the encounters, and you don't have to do them. And then the second visit had that boss fight that you had to use magic on. And for a first-time player, on critical mode, where you have reduced MP, it was a giant pain. That was a gigantic pain. I don't think this world gets an F. Also, it was ugly. I don't think this world gets an F for those, because the boss fight, aside from the part where if Jack dies you lose, was fun. So I think we got a D tier here. It's just ugly. It's so ugly. They did their best. They did a good job, even. But that's not enough for PlayStation 2 graphics. They just should have gone stylized with it, and not worried too much about making it look realistic, honestly. The Skeleton Crew guys looked pretty neat and pretty good, actually. But you never see them close up either, so I don't know. Pride Land. Fun world. Really changes up the pace in a good way. Changing up the pace is dangerous in games because it can be bad. I give it an A right off the bat. Maybe I'll move it up or down after we talk about it for a second. Being a lion was fun. Like, all the speed you get, and then, like, the ability to cast spells while moving, that's usually restricted to your form changes. Really cool boss fight with the, like, giant mammoth thing. That was awesome. Cool boss fight with Ghost Scar. I thought Sora's arc in this world was really random, though. I'm gonna be nominated for king, but then I'll turn it down because I'm cool like that. Is really upset when he's not nominated to be king because he is not kingly at all. Like, Sora, buddy, why? What is this? What is this arc for this character? I didn't think, what else could they have done better in this world? No, I mean, A is fair. I think it did pretty good. It's not legendary like Timeless River or both Halloween Towns, but it's good. It's good. I like the change of pace. And I'm glad that, I think in the randomizer, Pridelands is one of the first places you visit, because I do think I'll be playing randomizers of Kingdom Hearts 2 at least a little bit at some point, just to try them out. But you go to the Pridelands first because your abilities don't matter in the Pridelands as much. And I'm glad about that. And I'm happy to go there over and over. The grid. The grid was a positive experience overall. The minigame was bad. It was a bad minigame. It just, I don't feel like it worked like it was supposed to. You just get caught up in these unwinnable situations if you're not, like, already aware that it can happen. It takes too many tries to get through, and it's a roadblock. You have to get through it. I don't think you can skip the grid, so... yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I liked Tron himself. I liked his character arc in this, where he's like, maybe I do have a heart after all. I didn't like, in Dream Drop Distance, how... Or is it grid in Dream Drop Distance? I didn't like in Dream Drop Distance how they were like, maybe he still has his heart. He definitely did. He reached for my hand at the end. Anyways, unlock the key and leave. It's like, did he get his heart back? I think he was just falling to his death and reaching out. I actually liked how big of a colossal screw-up Sora was in Dream Drop Distance, so I can actually rewrite that as a positive in that light. I liked in Dream Drop Distance how him just blindly following his heart and doing whatever backfired spectacularly on him. The thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that they undid that. He just blindly follows his heart again, and for some reason it works this time. He does, you know, disappear at the end, but it worked out overall, right? But as far as Grid in Kingdom Hearts 2, I did struggle with it a bit in ways that I was not having fun. Something about the enemy design and the color palette made it really hard to follow what was going on. But I liked Tron. I think we'll give that an average. The world that never was. Please put a checkpoint before the Roxas fight. That's all I ask. But, I mean, come on. Please? Trying to learn that fight and having to run for a solid minute to get to it each time was not good. They did add that fight in the final mix version, so I could see how that oversight may have happened. I'll give it a pass because that boss fight is cool. The next boss fight after that is cool with Zigbar. The boss fight with Xemnas is a giant, multi-phased, awesome spectacle of insanity that was way better than anything they should have been able to pull off on the PlayStation 2, I think. Like, it's very impressive, very cool, very fun fights, all of them. Except the part where I didn't have any of my growth abilities from my form changes, and Roxas was a brick wall until I got those. I know he's beatable without them, but I don't know how to do it. So yeah, I think the world that never won is because it's an A rank in Kingdom Hearts 2 for sure. Very, very fun portion of the game, all the way through. Alright, Twilight Town. Bad tutorial. Long tutorial. Long tutorial. Grind for money, except it doesn't matter. You lost all your money. You don't get it back. You do not get it back. You can grind for hours and then it's just like, buy money. There's no warning, which I guess being robbed doesn't usually come with a warning. But this is a video game. You're supposed to get a chance to earn your money back when you get robbed in video games. It's just... like... But the whole thing with Roxas was so well done in a dramatic way. I feel bad giving it an F tier, but it's just not a good world. Like, gameplay-wise, it's just not good. It's just so spectacular in a dramatic way for Roxas. They really do a good job of establishing that Roxas had a whole arc without Sora. And it's coming to an end before it even started. And they convey that with the fact that you start out as Roxas, not knowing his past, and then it's just over. I really thought we were going to be Roxas for like the first third of the game, and I was like upset when it was over. Which is good. It's a good kind of like dramatic, good storytelling upset, not a oh, this game sucks, I can't believe we're not Roxas anymore. I feel bad giving it an F tier, but it's just not a good portion of the game gameplay-wise at all. Alright, what's... White is Birth by Sleep. Red is Dream Drop Distance, and there are 2 sets of Dream Drop Distance. What's black? Black is Kingdom Hearts 3. There's Chain of Memories. Oh, great, there are 2 sets of black tiles. Oh. No, it's all 1 set of black tiles, it's just in here twice. Oh. Looks like we have some duplicates. I think it's just duplicated. I think the whole thing is just duplicated for some reason. I don't think they actually did 2 separate Dream Drop Distance sets. There's Birth by Sleep again. And if they were duplicating it because of the multiple characters, they would have it in there 3 times. So I guess we'll just ignore duplicates. What was the next game in the series? I should have done Chain of Memories already. But I don't think it's on here? Which would be redundant, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think it's on here. So we'll just... I mean, I basically just ranked them the same as they were, and... Well, honestly, why even rank the worlds in Chain of Memories? They were all the same. Get cards, go through doors, done. Get cards, go through doors, done. Refight the same bosses, but with cards this time. I mean... They weren't really unique worlds so much as unique palettes for the worlds. I'll give the global ranking for Chain of Memories worlds a D. It was cool that you could randomize, or that you could build your own dungeon. That was neat. So it doesn't get an F, but you know. Huh. Yeah, so it looks like we don't have Chain of Memories, so Birth by Sleep is the next one. Weird. This doesn't have all the games in it. Alright, so let's do Birth by Sleep. 100 Acre Wood and Birth by Sleep. Could you even go 100 Acre Wood? Or was it just a board game? If it was just a board game, it's an F. But I don't actually know any better, so yeah, it's an F. Those board games were dumb. They were dumb and I hated them. The Castle of Dreams. I liked the part where Aqua was like, well, you've got darkness in your heart, time to die. And the fairy godmother was like, let things play out a little first. Sometimes it just works out. Try helping the good instead of hurting the bad. And Ventus got small, and he lamented. It was a fun world, overall. The boss fights were good-ish. I mean, I didn't like the combat in Birth by Sleep, but they were good boss fights design-wise. Having to fight the cat. What was his name? Lucifer? That was also fun. It's probably one of the better Birth by Sleep worlds. The Destiny Islands. Plot happened. Waka lives here. Disney Town. Worse minigames than usual, if I do have to say. I did not enjoy this. I did say, I was like, it's in character for Ventus to do all the minigames, so that's the one character I'm going to do them all with. I regretted that decision. I did not enjoy those minigames. They were very short, except for the racing one, at least. I liked the part where Pete got put into a void as punishment. And that's how he turned into a villain. Like a real villain, not like a, I'm gonna steal the election for this silly contest we're doing villain. And Disney Team Rocket was born, for sure. Alright. Oh, Dwarf Woodlands. Pete just wanted to be elected best person by stealing the vote. He really upped his villain game after that, as it turns out. The recidivism rate in Disney Town is not good. Do not throw your prisoners into a dark void. They won't like you afterwards, and they won't be good people coming out of it. Alright, the Dwarf Woodlands. You fight the mirror twice. And Ventus fights a tree. And finds the dwarves. This was not a good world. I can't sugarcoat it. I didn't like it. It just wasn't that good. I don't know what else to say about it. I didn't like it. That's that. Oh well. The Enchanted Dominion was interesting. I don't know why Terra was so easily manipulated into ripping someone's heart out. The fight was cool. With the sewing machine. It's not a sewing machine, but whatever it's called. Spinning wheel doodad. What? Oh yeah, the other fights were Maleficent as you fought Maleficent as Ventus. This world had 3 different boss fights. There's the spinning wheel as Terra, Maleficent as Ventus, and then Dragon Maleficent as Aqua. And they were all good boss fights. I think that goes up here with Castle of Dreams. Keyblade Graveyard. Wasn't really a world. It was 2 hallways with encounters. And the fact that there was a giant Mickey Mouse-shaped crater never came up. And tornadoes. But the tornadoes were encounters and not tornadoes. Functionally, for some reason. The tornado had nothing to do with what actually happened when you got caught by the tornado. It just takes you to a void and you fight a thing. And also there was a Vanitas boss fight here in one of the mid parts of the game. I don't know. It just wasn't really a world. And a Xehanort boss fight. Yeah. It had all the endgame stuff. It had all the endgame stuff, but it was, the world itself was literally just 2 hallways leading to that. So I can't really give it points for that. Like, the world that never was a whole world that also led to the endgame boss fights. It was way better as a final world. The end of the world was kind of the same problem, but it was like 10 hallways with random encounters. I'm actually gonna put that one lower than Keyblade Graveyard, just in the same tier. Not that these are particularly ordered. Timeless River is definitely the best one, and End of the World is worse than Keyblade Graveyard, so... The Land of Departure was Castle Oblivion, and had Ventus sleeping in it. And Vanitas showed up and bullied Ventus into chasing Terra. The castle was kind of a cool design. The fact that it transformed into castle, into like this enigmatic eldritch building was pretty weird, but cool. So I think I give it points for that. As a playable world though, eh. It's not a D rank at least, because it has all that cool stuff going on in the background. And there were orbs to hit, while Sinister Goblin should everyone thought he was a good person. And they were right, mind you. Kingdom Hearts 3 established that they were right. He was a good person, he was just misguided. You gotta remember, we've played all the games now. Monstro again. Monstro wasn't a world in Birth by Sleep. Monstro was a boss fight in Birth by Sleep. I'm not ranking this one. Whoever made this tier list needs to think again for a couple of these. Neverland. I got to fight Peter Pan. And I beat the crap out of him, and he was still a bad person, and he was characterized properly. And he was a jerk to Aqua because she's a girl. He was friends with Ventus because he's a young boy. And Aqua called Vanitas a freak. Her only moment where she actually showed emotion other than tears streaming down her cheeks. And even that wasn't very emotional, just because they added tears didn't make her, like, feel like she was emoting. That was her moment. Just, you freak! Her one outburst, where she wasn't just being everyone's mom. Coliseum had Zack in it. Zack was the worst boss fight in the whole series. A rank except for that, which drops it down 2 whole ranks. I'm not mad, I don't feel bad about that. That boss fight sucked. It was a brick wall unless you had the Thunder Shot Lock, because Terra's dodge does not dodge things like the other 2 characters. And they knew that, and they still gave him that move where he just warps around and flies everywhere and it's just a constant hitbox. If that were Aqua or Ventus, you could have just spammed square through that move and been fine. I'm not mad at Zack. I'm not even disappointed in Zack. I'm mad at the developers for giving him that move. That boss fight sucked. It was my only... I've made it all the way through the series. That was my only rage quit. That's how bad that was. That's why it drops 2 ranks for that. That was my only rage quit in the series. I just couldn't progress until I went to grind Thundershoot, or whatever it's called. And better commands. And more levels. And then, maxing out Thundershot took like 3 minutes. And you can just use it and destroy that entire boss fight. Because shot locks are that powerful. And it's just like, so either I can't fight this guy at all, or I just annihilate him with one move. Like, who designed this? I'm mad at you. I'm going to talk to you about it if I ever find you. I have words. Oh wow, and that... Oh right, there weren't that many worlds in Birth by Sleep. Because you played them all 3 times. I didn't factor any of that in. Because they were also short visits, so... Hey, where's Deep Space? Okay, we're gonna call Monstro Deep Space. I mean, we taught Stitch the power of friendship early. There were really mediocre gravity mechanics. Birth by Sleep's average is D, not C. I'm not bitter. Don't judge me. Okay, so we're in Dream Drop distance now, and our first thing is 100 Acre Wood. What happened in Dream Drop distance in 100 Acre Wood? Was that even in this game? Red is definitely Dream Drop distance because it has the Country of Musketeers, and I forget what they called the Hunchback of Notre Dame world. And Prankster's Paradise. It has these worlds, so Red has to be Dream Drop distance. It has to be. So I don't know why this is here. Alright, so Country of Musketeers. Well, we have 2 sets of tiles for Dream Drop distance, so I guess we might as well use them. Because they are actually, most of these worlds are actually very different between the 2 characters. That wasn't really the case in Birth by Sleep. There were differences, and like the boss fights were different, and that's about it. And you know, sometimes you went down a different corridor at a different time or whatever. But a lot of the Dream Drop distance worlds were actually separate worlds that kind of intersected sometimes. But we'll rank these separately. The first set will be Sora, the second set will be Riku. So Sora's Country of Musketeers had the T-Rex chasing the cart. That was fun. It had the Musketeers, which was fun. Seeing Mickey and the crew earlier on in their careers leading up to what they are now was interesting. Who's texting me and why? Okay. Let's see. What else about the 100 Acre Wood? Or not 100 Acre Wood, the Country of Musketeers. I mean, it was generally a good experience for me. I liked it. There's not a lot to say about it in particular. I don't remember that movie, so I don't know if either of the plots followed the movie very much. I'll just give it... It had that cool scene with the T-Rex. Where then they turned that into a boss fight. That was fun. Destiny Islands. I'm gonna say Destiny Islands is just the Ursula fight at the very beginning of the game. Much better tutorial than the rest of the series, because it's... Here's how you fight, go! Like, awesome. Great. But again, nothing really happened here. Except that Sora got an X on his clothes, which turned out to be really important. And that happened when he woke up in Traverse Town. It was also kind of random. Apparently their test was to dream and build a raft and actually sail to a different world for once. Alright. The game starts and Ursula. Ursula wants her revenge. And that's how you know you're dreaming. Because she is dead. For sure. Okay. So... The Hunchback of Notre Dame world was fun as Sora, and it did just kind of follow a movie. There was that really annoying segment where you just run across a bridge while a boss shoots at you, and the boss will absolutely annihilate you if you get hit twice, and it's kind of not up to you whether you make it through there. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. We'll give it a C. Monstro in Dream Drop Distance in Sora's side of the story. I mean, Eh. Yeah, it wasn't just Monstro, it was Monstro and Prankster's Paradise. Oh, you know what? I don't think Sora ever actually sets foot in Monstro. So that doesn't count for Sora. We'll just skip that one. Prankster's Paradise, though. Yeah, you go to the carnival, then you go through the ocean a little bit, and then you fight a boss with Monstro as the stage. That was really cool, actually. And then you turn... Oh yeah, and then you use the reality altering ability to put Monstro in a giant bubble. And just flatten the boss. That was really fun. I liked this world. It was really dumb with the Pinocchio duplicates running around. That was the only plot in the carnival, is that, oh, Pinocchio's here, I guess. Oh, now he's over there. Oh, now he's over there. But the boss fight was good, and having Monstro as like the stage for the boss fight was really fun. Okay, the Symphony of Sorcery. I think that's an A. The melody thing was really fun. We get to see more of Sora being overly reliant on Riku. And just kind of doing whatever until it maybe works out. And I thought the most interesting part about Dream Drop Distance was that Riku had all the character development, and Sora's lack of character development actually hindered him a lot. The Wizard Stork. Oh yeah. That guy. That boss fight sucked. I did not like riding the rails to chase him down. And then it was kind of a long fight. I was not doing very much damage to him. He probably had a lot of magic resistance, and I was using all the magic on Sora, so that probably didn't help. But, you know, it still wasn't a good boss fight. But still, I liked the world overall. I liked the designs were really cool. They're kind of hard to remember, because they were so, like, dreamlike. There's clouds and weird cliff sides, and there's like a forest at one point, I think. But it was very visually interesting at the time while you're looking at it. Alright, The World That Never Was, Dream Drop Distance. I mean, I don't even really remember this world. Like, obviously you walked across buildings. The special reality altering ability with Riku and Sora working together was kind of neat, but really slow to cast. Just the chain where you had to line up the chains is just kind of like, okay, come on, let's get to the move, please. And then it did have all the endgame stuff, and I didn't like the endgame stuff in this one. So, but at least it was like a real world, unlike Birth by Sleep, Keyblade Graveyard. It actually had stuff going on, so I can't rank it that low. In all good conscience, I think this one gets an average. The grid sucked in Dream Drop Distance. And it wasn't the game's fault. It was the movie's fault. It was the new Tron movie's fault. But it still sucked. It gets an F. The boss fight wasn't fun. The whole thing with Sora being like, I think he got his heart back right at the end. And then, like, never coming back to resolve that at all and just leaving and unlocking the key. That was stupid. Like, God, the movie characters were terrible. But at least Waka doesn't live there. It gets an F and not a Waka lives here. Man, the grid was, now that I'm thinking about it and like critically and looking at it, the grid was a terrible world. The characters sucked. I don't understand the name The Rinsler for Tron. They just ripped scenes out of the movie and it was boring. Like they literally just had flashbacks to scenes that happened in the movie and that's it. And Sora wasn't even in those. Riku wasn't. I've never seen the movie. I just know they were from the movie because it was just a dialogue scene between these characters. It had to be from the movie, right? I mean, either way, it sucked. So, I mean, whatever. Okay, Traverse Town had the World End With You characters instead of Final Fantasy characters, and I thought that was a neat twist, because this isn't your normal Kingdom Hearts game. They're in a dream world, everything's different. I would have preferred... This is not... I'm not judging the world on this. I just really would have preferred Chrono Trigger characters to have been here. That would have made my day. Also, Joshua was omniscient. Not really a hub world this time around. Not really a hub. Yeah, he did. He just like, hey, he's omniscient. I'm omniscient, whatever. I think he was just explaining that he's dreaming, and therefore he knows what's happening at all times in this dream world. But he sure said it bluntly that he was omniscient, right? It's not really a hub world this time around, it's actually just a playable world that you visit multiple times. I didn't mind the lack of a hub world in Dream Drop Distance. I liked the short tutorial. I liked that Traverse Town wasn't a tutorial this time. The World Ends With You characters weren't bad in it. I just would have preferred Chrono Trigger characters if they were going to go off-brand and do something else. Yeah, I liked it overall. I think we get a B out of this one. It had that boss rush that was kind of fun. And then it had this weird, like, intrigue about how it wasn't actually a mirror. It was, out of all the worlds, it wasn't actually a mirror. The two Traverse Towns actually weren't mirroring each other. Something else was going on. I don't remember if that resolved itself. Or if they ever discussed that again, but whatever. It was intriguing. Alright, now we gotta do Riku's side of Dream Drop Distance. 100 Acre Wood still doesn't exist. So overall, I liked that Riku's side didn't follow the movies. They were kind of like what-if alternate plotlines in the movies, which is better than just redoing the movie. Kingdom Hearts is always better when they're not just redoing the movie, because the characters get to be more important to the overall plot. Not so much this time in Dream Drop Distance. They still just kind of did their own thing, but it was like a what-if scenario, and it wasn't just a repeat. And Riku had lots of character growth in all of these worlds. So I think overall, the Riku worlds are just better than the Sora worlds in DDD. Destiny Islands was, again, a short, sweet tutorial. There isn't even a Riku version of Destiny Islands. Scratch that. You play as Sora during that phase of the game and never as Riku. But yeah, so Country of Musketeers. The Pete fight was interesting. The fact that you actually played two different moments in the same story, I think, kind of, was bizarre. Like, because Riku foiled the kidnapping of Minnie Mouse, but Sora foiled... No, Riku foiled the destruction of the Musketeers, and Sora foiled the kidnapping of Minnie Mouse. But they were overall like the same interwoven plot, just from different angles, and I thought that was cool to see it like that. I think I'll just put it the same as Sora's version. Then we had Monstro, which was not as interesting as Prankster's Paradise, and Riku's whole part of the game took place in Monstro, I think, in that phase. I think it's just one rank lower than Prankster's Paradise, which I put somewhere. Where did I put that? these are all very small. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll just put it one rank lower, I think. Right next to the other Monstro. There's a thing where you could flip Monstro upside down. It was never important. You just use it to progress the dungeon. Whatever. Not a bad world, just not anything spectacular. The Symphony of Sorcery. Again, Riku's character development really shows itself. And he takes charge, and he fixes the problem. And he doesn't bash the thing with his Keyblade. He almost does. But he listens to Mickey. And, you know, he listens to Mickey first. Sora just went in swinging. Again, a character flaw in Sora that they made clear in this game was a flaw, and then pretended it wasn't a flaw in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a good thing again in Kingdom Hearts 3. He didn't learn a thing from Dream Drop Distance. I hate that. He didn't learn a thing. He just has the same arc again, and he's just back to the old Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3. Literally in power level and character arc, and then it just works out the second time. I liked all of Riku's character development in Dream Drop Distance, but I don't like that Sora did not develop as a result of Dream Drop Distance. Like, he should have learned a lot and applied that to Kingdom Hearts 3's story, and they just didn't write it that way. I don't know why. Let's see. So, again, with the alternate what-if scenarios for Riku's Dream Drop Distance, it was really cool when Frollo, instead of falling to his death screaming, was just like, oh, you're gonna get darkness, and then just jumped off the building and killed himself. It was like, that was the shock factor of that was so wild. I was just like, what is happening? Why is Frollo in on this darkness thing now? I thought that was, like, really intense for a moment there. Yeah, I think I haven't been talking about the boss fights in Dream Drop Distance a lot because most of them were forgettable. But I liked the Riku version more because it had that like updraft from the fire that you fly into and you fight in the air. That was really cool. So I'm gonna put this one up from the Sora version, which is somewhere. Ah, here. He didn't do Prankster's Paradise. He was in Monstro. The grid for Riku. Again, Riku carried the story in the grid. Sora sort of just chased his heart and distracted everything. But Riku, while he did go along with what the characters were planning, he enhanced what they were doing instead of just, like, canceling out what they were doing. And again, he's very specifically, again, shows character development in this world, because his initial plan is like, well, I've just got to get out of here, right? And then then he thinks about it for a moment, instead of just beelining it for the exit, like his initial thoughts were, like, if I just get out of here, then I'm making progress, right? He thought, what if I go along with this and help everyone and we all get out together and we just work together? What if we work together for what they want? Whereas Sora's usually like, we're gonna work together for what I want to happen in this game. In Dream Drop Distance especially, he was like, I want Rinsler to not be Rinsler anymore. I want Tron back. I want Tron back, and we're gonna get Tron back. But Riku was like, no, we're gonna help these people, and that's our way through this. And he was smart about it, and he thought it out, and it doesn't get an F grade when Riku's the main character. I think it gets a C still because the other characters did suck. But you know, it can only go so far. It just also the hacking minigame is too long. Apply that to both of these. The hacking minigame is too long. Riku's world that never was. I don't remember the difference between Riku and Sora's worlds that never were. Let's see. Riku's Traveler's Town wasn't different, actually. Even though it was the only world established to possibly not be an actual mirror. But it really wasn't any different, so it just goes next to the other Traverse Town. Even the boss fight was the same, but the boss was like flying in a small corridor instead of on top of buildings. I think it was the same boss fight. Again, these boss fights sucked in Dream Drop Distance. The Heartless boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 3 are way better than the Dream Eater boss fights in Dream Drop Distance. Like, design-wise, I actually remember some of the Kingdom Hearts 3 ones, which is saying something compared to Dream Drop Distance. Like... Hey. And that's all of 3D. That puts us at Kingdom Hearts 3. Arendelle. Waka doesn't live in Arendelle, but I'm thinking of putting it in that same tier because Olaf lives here. Yeah. Know what? That's fair. I'm doing it. Waka doesn't live there, but it's in the same tier of Waka lives here. Waka, Peter Pan, and Olaf should team up and make the worst game of all time. I mean, Destiny Islands was in Kingdom Hearts 3, but you never go there. I liked how they all got to have their beach trip at the end at Destiny Islands, though. It seemed like a really good cyclical thing for the series. I think the series ending on Destiny Islands is a lot better than how it began on Destiny Islands. Personally. It just, as much as it was just for plot as it was in most of the games it was in, it had a nice, like, closure to it, where everyone was just kind of hanging out there. But yeah, not a playable world, so I can't rate it too high. Nothing happens there, just the ending. Wherever after everything is wrapped up, they're just hanging out there. So I can't rate it too high, but I did like it more than every other iteration. All of them, literally all the other iterations of Destiny Islands. In fact, just for good measure, let's put the Chain of Memories Destiny Islands on there too. Boom. Waka lives here. 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts 3 was short, and only had one minigame. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The minigame also wasn't very good. Also, it was stolen. It was a stolen game format. Yeah, I can't rate this one terribly high. And you have to go back and replay. It's in the way because you have to go back and replay it for to get certain ingredients, and it's like, I don't want to. I didn't want to do it in the first place. I didn't even know there were lucky emblems there. I forgot. And that was like the last place I checked when collecting all of those, and it was kind of a pain. There were only 2, but hey, whatever. It wasn't good in Kingdom Hearts 3. Also, no existential crisis. What the heck? What's 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts without an existential crisis? Just regular old amnesia. In fact, I'm bumping it down a rank for being lame. The Keyblade Graveyard in Kingdom Hearts 3. Let me think about this for a second. It's long. You have to play it twice because of the DLC. I mean, It's got that giant maze segment where you have to fight as the other fight with the other characters. And then they added the ability to fight as the other characters, but it kind of sucked. And again, you have to play it twice, and it's not short. The battles are so spectacular, though. Like, even when they're not, like, the best... They're not exactly the best designed fights in the series, or anything like that. They're so cool. But I wish they didn't interrupt each fight every time you took out one of the individual members of the fight. So I think that subtracts from the spectacle a little bit. So I can't give it as I wanted. I was thinking B, but the way it interrupts itself all the time is just so irritating. And the boss fight with Xemnas, Young Xehanort, and Ansem, like, I just didn't like it. I don't think it was bad. It just felt suffocating in a way that I couldn't really deal with without already knowing how to do it. And your allies aren't helpful, and you don't have your normal allies, so you don't have, like, your, like, special combo moves. Or any of your, like, super moves that you can usually do. And even, actually, I think they did have a super move with Riku, Mickey, and Sora, but I never got to use it because everyone was dead all the time. I think overall I was gonna give it a B at first, despite its shortcomings, but then the shortcomings just keep coming. So, I think we get a C out of Keyblade Graveyard and KH3. Unfortunately. And you have to do it twice. I can't stress that enough. You literally have to do it twice if you play the DLC. And I get that the DLC was supposed to be played way later, and it was supposed to refresh you on what happened and then, like, show you the other angle of how it happened. I get that, but the fights, even when you had to play as the other characters, they just weren't different enough. And they were really underpowered. So, meh. I really liked the Kingdom of Corona in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's probably my... Well, what else do we have? Other than Toy Box, I think Kingdom of Corona is my favorite. And Toy Box is only my favorite because I like the characters more, and I thought the little details with all the toy displays were really fun to look at. That's probably the only reason I like Toy Box more, was looking at all the stuff was more fun. But the Kingdom of Corona was really well implemented. And I think I would give it an S rank if it wasn't just the movie again. But the boss fight was so cool and very thematic. The big plant monster that cages you in is so thematically appropriate. And it's hard to judge the individual Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds as not being important to the plot, because none of them were. Not a one of these worlds were important to the plot. Like, the Keyblade Graveyard is barely important to the plot. Because it's just like, oh, the final battle has to happen here, because it's the Keyblade Graveyard, you know? The place where this happens. And it's like, so? The Keyblade Graveyard could be any crater in any world. But the Kingdom of Corona was fun despite the fact that it was just the movie again. I mean, oh, the dance minigame. The dance minigame was the best minigame in the series. I liked it. It wasn't anything special gameplay-wise, but it was fun to watch. Yeah, I think that sums that up. It's pretty good. Again, this is despite the fact that it was totally unimportant, because none of the worlds were important. Let's see, the Land of Departure. All you do is fight Venus there as Aqua. And then Aqua wakes Ventus up, who then rescues Aqua, because Aqua decided she was gonna fight Venus alone. Not just fight him alone, but bar you from entering the fight at any point, which was really dumb. Again, it's this weird thing where it's like, that's Aqua, actually showing character of some sort. The fact that she held a vendetta against Vanitas enough to say, no, you're not helping me with this if it kills me, is... I can't even say it's out of character for Aqua, because Aqua has no character. But it's a flash of character from Aqua. So I can't give it like a 0. But again, barely anything happens, so I think it just has to get a D. And the fact that it was Castle Oblivion was never important again. So much for that. Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. gets an A. Because not only did something actually important to the overarching plot happen there, because Vanitas showed up, and the monsters help you deal with Vanitas, and it's thematically appropriate for Vanitas to exist there because of the fear, the emotions, the negative emotions versus the positive emotions theme of Monsters, Inc. and Vanitas' whole deal was really important to something, which you can't say about a lot of the Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds. Basically, you've got, as far as importance to the actual plot, you've got Toy Box and Monstropolis. It's like, I guess this is just a pretty solid and sure sign that Pixar meddled in the overarching plot less than Disney. Because those worlds had more... Toy Story had more to do with the overarching plot than any of the Disney-owned worlds instead of the Pixar-owned worlds. How does that happen? How does Toy Story become more important to your plot than any of these other places? It didn't even have a the Toy Box didn't even have a princess. There wasn't even a princess there. Monstropolis didn't have a princess. And they were still more important somehow. Like, how? How did you do that? What did Disney do to make these worlds even less impactful than they were? Yeah, I don't know. I could rant about that for a while. Olympus Coliseum. I mean... How do I rank this one? What I don't even know what criteria to rank this one on. This is the extended tutorial. But it doesn't drag like the other tutorials in the series. So I can't rate it too low with the other tutorials. Or the minigames, or the Atlanticas. But I don't want to give it anything above a C because, again, nothing important happened here. The whole point of Sora coming to the Colosseum was to regain his lost power, which he didn't. And then that was glossed over forever. I can't rank it too terribly high because just nothing happens. Hades is great, but Hades is always great. And it's just the plot of the movie again, so... Meh. It gets a meh from me. All the Colosseums got meh, except for... What was this one? Kingdom Hearts 2. I think you might be noticing a trend. Except for the worlds that were tutorials and minigames, Kingdom Hearts 2 has all the highest rankings, like the highest like average. Like it's got the most in A rank. I think they just did their worlds the best there, honestly. Okay, Port Royal. Crabs. You get crabs. I don't even want to rephrase that because, honestly, why? Oh, we've got to put Jack Sparrow in 2 places at once because we want to do this open world segment. It's like, do you have to do that? Do we need a crab ship and a crab Jack Sparrow to fight ghost pirates? Do you? I mean, they had to give us... I mean, why crabs? If we're gonna go level up a ship, why did it have to be crabs? I don't get it. I don't understand why this world was the way that it was. And some of the ship boss fights are just a pain. And they also had that pirate enemy that swings around on the hook that doesn't flinch from anything, is unaffected by all status effects, has terrible hitboxes that you cannot block if you're... Some attacks you just can't block them if you're too close when they go off. And it's dumb. So it had the worst enemy design for your casual normal enemies, worst boss fights, crab collecting. But the sailing was kind of cool, so I don't know if F is fair. I just feel like it wasn't done very well. Like, great in concept, really bad in, like, not just the execution, but the way, like, like, how can it be good in concept but bad in premise at the same time? What happened? I think an F is unfairly low, but I didn't have a good time here. And this is my list, I guess, so I don't feel that bad about ranking it lower. San Francisco. Fun? A little too big and sprawling, but it's a city. But the only thing to collect in Kingdom Hearts 3 is ingredients and lucky emblems. So sprawling is bad. Really, a pretty alive city, honestly. Like, it had people and cars and trains and all that good stuff that cities are supposed to have that they don't often have, that they often, not that they don't often have, but they too often don't have in video games. And honestly, it's just a lot of work that they didn't have to do, and I appreciate it. They really could have just made this fight, this place go set piece to set piece, and they didn't. And it's not like Port Royal where it's just ocean between the ocean and random ship encounters between them. It's a city that they designed and put stuff in. Could have been bigger, but there'd be no point if there weren't going to be more collectibles. So I can't really dock it too much for size because the overall collectibles of the game limited what they could put in the world. And it had a minigame. I didn't care either one way or the other. It's literally Superman 64, go through hoops. I feel like a C is a little too low. Let's put it at the top of C. Because it wasn't just the movie again. Which is always a plus in Kingdom Hearts. When it's just the movie again, like, honestly, putting Kingdom of Corona this high, I should put it below Monstropolis. Putting Kingdom of Corona this high is just... the boss fight carries this world. It's so thematic. Scala and Kadam. I can't read that, and I can't remember what it was actually called. So, this world... oh, this world was... just a set to get destroyed by a boss fight that we learned nothing about this place from the prequel movie. We learned about some of the characters that inhabited it, but we learned nothing about this place. And then it's just there, and then it's destroyed, and it's very dramatic, and I think it's supposed to be sad, but I don't know, because I didn't play the mobile game, and I don't plan on it. And then, like, this is where the final boss fights happened, and they were pretty good fights, I think. But it's also where the Kyrie Chunks of Heart scavenger hunt happened. And that wasn't very good either. It was okay. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't very good. But also, this is where the final plot point of Xehanort not being a bad guy at all, just misguided, happened. And you might think that I'm saying that as a bad thing, but I actually love that. It's so stupid. It's like Demix. It's so stupid it wraps out around and back into being something good again. It's just... I can't imagine a more Kingdom Hearts ending for this trilogy with all the side games and everything, not counting all the side games and anything, just to be like, and then it was actually this misguided all along, and then ending. And it is disappointing, but it's so funny. It's so funny that they did that to me. I love the roller coaster of Kingdom Hearts. Where it's just like, it's epic, and then it's lame, and then it's epic, and then it's lame, and then it's epic, and then it's silly, and then it's taking itself too seriously, and then it's silly again, and it's like... Never make up your mind, Kingdom Hearts. I don't want you to. And Scala and Column was a perfect representation of that. As much as it was short and not really a world, it was just a stage for the boss fight. And then a scavenger hunt, which was kind of neat in some of the way the mechanics worked. I think a B is fine. Just now that I've seen the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, I just can't imagine anything more Kingdom Hearts-y happening. And then the DLC is just him not retconning it, but slightly adjusting it to be a little bit happier of an ending. It's just so it's so silly. And I'm here for it, honestly. I'm ready for the next game already. I'm excited for whatever announcements they make at the 20th anniversary, because I'm here for it now. As much as I think the series peaked at Kingdom Hearts 2, the peak is just the beginning of the roller coaster. Am I right? I should have left that for the end, even though the tier list didn't. But Toy Box, S tier. Love the details. I love the Dissidia Final Fantasy display rack with all the summons. I love all the toys they made up. I want those toys. The mech fights were a random thing to throw in, but they were fun. Woody and Buzz, great characters in this world. Pixar meddled in a good way, as opposed to Disney's meddling. Like, it's so perfect. When Buzz gets taken over and Woody's just like, I can't believe Buzz has been taken over! It's like, really? You can't believe it? While he's making his, like, serious Buzz Lightyear face from Toy Story 1. Shooting his laser at Woody. It's so good. It's so funny. And then Woody just stomps his foot into the darkness at the end and is just like, no one's ever loved you, young Xehanort. And it's like, oh, got him. There was that thing, though, if I have to have one, like, silly part that is actually a negative instead of a positive, there was that thing that Woody kept doing where he would, like, dive in and rescue people from danger. Totally pointlessly. I think you're in Andy's room still, where our main character trio blocked the Heartless from getting Ham. And after they've blocked the Heartless, Woody, like, dives in and grabs Ham and rolls away with him, and it's like, thanks, you saved him from what we saved him from already. And then he does it again when he rescues Buzz from the darkness by dive tackling him out of the sky. I like that he swung from his drawstring to do that. That was a cool callback to the Toy Story game that I hate. And, you know, also the movies. He did that in the movies. It was just such a funny little quirk that he was always dive tackling people to safety. And it's just like, but why though? And that's a nitpick. That's not even really a negative. It's just silly. I thought it was funny how he kept doing that. But that world was excellent. Everything about that world, the character designs, Yozora being revealed later to be like an actual thing that exists. Rex wandering off to go find Yozora, or find proof that Yozora is trustworthy, even though he keeps saying he's actually Sora and no one's listening. The fact that you get Mario 64'd into a video game, and that's like the pre-up to the final boss of the world, It's the penultimate challenge before the boss. The boss fight's great. I don't remember what it was. It was just like a flying saucer or whatever. But the fight itself was really great. Air stepping along all the toy houses and stuff to get to it and stay and like the way you can like struggle to stay on top of it when it tries to knock you off. If you do it just right, you get to like fly back into him and keep fighting him. Awesome boss fight. I have nothing bad to say about Toy Box, and I was worried going into this because I knew Pixar meddled, but they did a great job. Square did a great job. They worked together way better than Disney and Square ever have. And it made a great world out of it. I loved the Toy Box. F tier. This is where Sora went when he got turned into slime. When everyone got turned into slime, right? That was a terrible segment of the game. Collect slime Soras. Why, though? And you know what? I take it back. I'm glad we didn't do Scala and Column last. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I cannot read this. And I can't remember it. I'm glad we didn't do that last, because now we get to end anticlimactically, just like the series. Bye! Good night!